Now, it's important to understand signs and signals. It's important to understand the types of signs and signals that are posted at the crossing. So, wherever you're driving, you'll see the signs and signals. They will alert you for an upcoming crossing. Here, we're going to go for signs. For example, you have passive warning devices. Signs of passive warning devices. They're not electric and they intend and help you direct your attention to the crossing, let you know where the crossing is. And therefore, the signs will direct your attention to the crossing and it will remind you to be cautious. So, the different types of signs you should be familiar with is you have the advanced warning sign, pavement marking, crossbuck sign, number sign, stop sign, yield sign, exempt sign, do not stop on tracks sign, track out of service sign, parallel track sign, and then low ground clearance sign. So these are the signs to let you know they're not active. You won't hear a warning device, but these are signs to let you know then the railroad is approaching. I'm gonna break down specifically each of these types of signs. So first you have the advanced warning sign. Usually it will say RR with an X, and it's placed before the crossing to let you, the motorists or drivers know. And it's the first sign you see when approaching a highway railroad crossing. Then you have pavement marking. So you may see the white letter RR on the pavement on the ground before crossing. Then you have crossbuck sign. A crossbuck sign is a white X with words that says railroad crossing. And a crossbuck is considered a yield sign and it's required at all public crossings. Then you have number sign. So number sign at multiple track crossings, a sign will indicate or show the number of tracks that will be on the post before you cross that buck. It will say, for example, two tracks, number two tracks. It tells you you have to cross not one track, but two tracks, as an example. Then you have the stop sign. That appears when traffic is required to stop. If you see one, you must come to a complete stop before crossing the railroad tracks. Then you have the yield sign. You must yield to other vehicles, including trains, if you see this train. Then you have the exempt sign. So the exempt sign or the exemption sign is placed in advance to let placard hazardous materials vehicles. It lets buses and other highway users know a stop is not required except if a signal or law enforcement officer or trained crew member indicate or a train or shows that the railroad equipment is approaching to that crossing. Then you have the do not stop on track sign. This sign is placed at crossings where vehicles would tend to stop on the tracks, and it reminds drivers to avoid stopping on the tracks. Then you have the track out of service sign. So if you see this, that notifies and lets drivers know when a railroad track has been abandoned, discontinued, or when it's not in use. Then you have parallel track sign. A parallel track sign is a diamond-shaped yellow sign that's located on the roads running parallel to the tracks. Now, it also warns the drivers making a turn that there's a crossing immediately after you make that turn. Then you have low ground clearance sign. This is used where crossing conditions may hang up vehicles with low ground clearance. So these are the main signs, railroad crossing signs that you will see and most likely encounter as well. So be aware, recognize these signs, and know what it means. Then you have signals. So signals are active warning devices. They're active warning devices and they activate automatically when a train approaches, and it offers the greatest amount of protection. So there are fewer signals than signs because there are a lot of signs showing you a railroad is approaching, they're coming, but signs, there are very few signs to keep in mind of. And the three common signs are the standard gate, standard bell, and flashing light signal. And I'm gonna dive deeper into these three. When it comes to signals, you have a standard gate or standard gate assembly. It has flashing lights and light signals and a crossbuck sign and other passive warning devices. Now, when no train is approaching or accompanying the crossing, the gate is usually in a upright vertical position. And when a train approaches, the flashlight signals and the light on the gate arm will activate. meaning it will come on. And then when this happens, the gate arm lowers. It moves down no less than 3 seconds, and it stays at a horizontal position for as long as the train is crossing. And during that time, as that train crosses, the gate arm will lift, or the gate, once the train finishes crossing, the gate arm lifts when the trail or the train clears, and the crossing and no other train is approaching. In other words, the crossing and no other train is approaching, that's when the arms lifts or it stays up. Now the gate will move back to its upright position when the train clears the crossing itself. And that's the standard gate or standard gate assembly. Then you have the standard bell. Standard bell activates so you can actually hear a warning. Now, the bell is usually mounted on top of the signal support mats. Now, a mat or mats is a part of a material that's used to protect it from heat or moisture of an object placing on it. And that's usually near the standard bell. Now, the bell sounds as long as the flashing light signals are operating. And then you have flashlight signal. So a device that's installed on standard mat that displays and it shows a red light flashing alternately. Usually it's 2 of them or more, and you'll see those lights flashing alternately. Now, flashing light signals are found on all types of public highway rail grade crossings, and they're normally placed on the right side as you approach that equipped crossing. Hey, BET Trainer here. Listen, if you really had true value out of this video, go ahead and click that like button and share some honest comments about this video, because this is going to help other people as well see the video and get the value information, so that way they can be inspired by what you're doing right now as well. So also, if you want to get the latest updates, go ahead and click the subscribe button, so then you can be able to always be updated on the next instant video that will be put out. So again, go ahead and do that. And this video was sponsored by BET Life Services and CDL for Life.